Hey everybody, it's Mr. Cinema Junkie. I have just finished watching what has probably been the strangest experience in my movie viewing history. Um, it defies explanation, and can't say it disturbed me, but it really was a culmination of just a lot of stuff to take in at once. Um, I have been told in the past by a couple of different people, most notably by Danny, DJ Boy 3275, that this movie is quote unquote fucked up. Thanks for the heads up, but that was the understatement of the century. This movie was beyond fucked up. Fucked up was August Underground Mortem. That's fucked up. Serbian Film, somewhat fucked up. This one, I think the reason that it exceeds is because you're left to your own devices. Well, I was, because there were no English subtitles. I believe it's all in German, so I kind of had to make up my own story as it went along. And seriously, there is probably a very beautiful story underneath all that, but I'll never know until some English subtitles come out on this thing. The movie I speak of is Angels Melancholy, to which I have to give great props and thanks to Scotty, Willie Mark 1, for kicking me down a copy of this movie. Thank you, sir. I'm not offended in the least by it. I have seen fairly bizarre shit, and this falls right in line with that. I had seen little clips, previews of it on different sites when I first heard of this movie. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty bad. But anything I saw did not prepare me for what I was going to witness here. Like I said, there's probably a very strong, maybe a very beautiful story beneath all that. But without the English subtitles, I basically got to chalk it up to being a huge culmination of blood, piss, shit, puke, mutilation, necrobestiality. There's a lot of animal cruelty in it. Some I was kind of like, meh. Some of it I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's nothing you wouldn't see in your average USDA slaughterhouse video, or in a PETA video. And then some of it I was kind of like, okay, wait, that's unnecessary and very, very wrong. But it's there already. It is what it is, just like Cannibal Holocaust. Once done, it's done. So if anybody has heard of this movie and has any kind of like curiosity about it and has been wanting to see it just because you've heard so much about it, but you are just dead set against animal cruelty in any way, shape, or form, skip this movie entirely, because it will offend if that's where you're coming from. There's a lot of cropophilia, I believe that's the word, a lot of shit play. A lot of people pissing on each other. There's an infamous scene where this guy is kind of finger banging this chick's colostomy hole, and it gets kind of raunchy. There was a little bit of disappointment, because I thought I was going to get to see my first authentic Dirty Sanchez, because this guy was digging up in this chick's ass with his finger. And I thought he was going to turn around and just give it to her right there. But no, he didn't do that. No Dirty Sanchez's in this one. Although there was one scene where this guy's kind of like curled up with this chick, kind of embracing, almost a tender scene, and then like that, he just kind of does this maneuver where he drops her, flips her, shits on her, and then wipes the shit up in her snatch, all in one fluid motion. There has to be a name for that. I bet if we looked hard enough, we'd find it. It's got to be. I mean, I've heard of like an Alabama hot pocket. That wasn't quite it. It was almost like a mating ritual of some sort. He was kind of like dropped her and flipped her, squatted over her, did this watery, runny shit on her, and then whatever was solid, he kind of scooped behind him and rubbed it right up in between her legs. And I'm like, okay, that was tender. It's very cruel. There's some very cruel scenes in here, not just to the animals, but to each other, to the people. And I'm going to go and say that because of all, not because of the murder, and not because of the killing and the bloodshed and the perversion, but more so because of the spirit of self-indulgence that this movie had. I got a lot of that from it. Very self-indulgent, very self-serving. I mean, the people in it. Plus, there was this whole huge thing about one of the guys was defiling a nun and defiling the corpses inside of a church, leaving little trinkets at the foot of this crucifix of Jesus, and then there was a scene where they kind of disembowel this old man and leave him suffering for a while, and then they throw him on the fire. And at some point you see like the crosses all around him, but at some point they grab one of the crosses and start using it to kind of like beat the dude in the fire. And I don't know why exactly, I can't really pinpoint it, but I could actually see this movie being endorsed by, say, I don't know, the Church of Satan. And it's not in any way satanic. Forget movies where they say, oh, it's a satanic movie. The devil possesses a child. The devil has a child. The devil this and that. Forget that, okay? To me, those movies aren't satanic in nature. They're just movies where one of the roles happens to be the devil. This movie is very self-indulgent, and to me that is like the pure essence of Satanism. It's the serving of oneself. So I could see something like that being endorsed, not being tagged with or saying, oh, that's a satanic movie, but actually the members of the Church of Satan getting it and saying, this is actually quite a good movie. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that. I don't know. I'm not claiming to know everything, but it's pretty deep, and I would just kill for some English subtitles. Oh my God, I would just love some English subtitles. The only thing is, it means I would have to watch it again, which I don't mind. I know what I'm getting into now. There was one part that crossed my line. One part that made me like, I could feel it right here. The gag reflex kicked in. I was just kind of like, air. And I hope I'm not ruining this for anybody who hasn't seen the movie yet, but with all the pissing and shitting and puking and everything that was going on, none of that at all made me like, ugh, gross. I was kind of like, okay, interesting. But the part that got to me was when this lady was doing this scene where she's like walking around a butchered hog that had been sitting out in the sun for quite a while. All I kept thinking was, that has got to reek so bad. Anyone who's ever smelled like a dead rat or a dead animal of any sort, you know that smell. It's horrible. So all I kept thinking was, that has to be a really hard scene to do, because that has to thing so bad. But that's not the part that got to me. Then she starts like playing with the pig's titties and the nipples and playing with her own nipples. I'm like, okay, this is getting weird. You know, that's to maintain that air of eroticism, I guess, for lack of a better word, and still to smell that. Maybe she's got something under her nose. I don't know. That's all I could think. But then she kind of reaches in and does this little Frenching deal on the pig. She kisses it or something, tongues it, and then she comes back and there's this long string of just mucus and shit from her. That's kind of where I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, stop. Stop. From that point on, it just got really like rapid fire with all the disgusting shit, but none of it was gag inducing like that scene was. So all in all, Angels Melancholy, if you dare venture into something very bizarre and very different, by all means check it out. As far as I know, there is no release, there is no official release with English subtitles. A lot of people tell you don't need English subtitles to follow that movie, but I think it would help. Personally, I would like to know what the heck they're talking about. So, since I don't speak German as a language, or whatever language they're speaking there, I think it's German, could be Austrian, I'm not sure. I'm going to say German. Then I have no clue what the bottom line of that whole movie was, but it was interesting. Quite interesting. So again, thanks everyone for the recommendations. Thank you to Danny, DJ Boy 3275 for the heads up. And a big, huge thank you to Scotty, aka Willie Mark 1, for a copy of the movie. Much appreciated, brother. Very awesome. And to those of you that I hooked up with a copy, let me know what you think of it. I can't wait to hear your opinions on this movie. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope I didn't ruin anything for anyone or turn anybody off to anything. And that's it for now. I'll be talking to you guys real soon. You guys hang in there. Keep it brutal, and peace.